Hello and welcome to Rev Sports. The first innings has just ended between India and Pakistan. India have I don't know why has my screen become small, but anyway, India has got 247, and it was such a frustrating innings to watch. First of all, let's get the controversy out of the way. We have been asking if there was a tails call in the toss, and that was given as heads. But okay, Gargi, I won't be able to hear you. Wait, let me remove the. I think I hear you, but I am not sure if you can hear me properly. Can you?
I can. Can
Okay,
you hear
perfect.
me?
So as I said, as I was saying that right at the toss, I think there was a confusion whether Fatima Sana called heads or tails. We were clarified that it was called heads, and Fatima rightly won the toss. But yeah, that confusion remained, and we actually checked quite a few times to understand if that was wrong. And guess what, Gargi? Who is the match referee? We have another South African match referee here. So, South African match referees are getting quite some heat, in the India Pakistan games. But again, as I
There,
said, yeah, I think the
there
batting
is
was.
yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, Gargi, can you just continue for a minute? I'll come from another device so that I can put a Bluetooth. Just a minute.
All right. All right. Till then, I can take some comments here. Let me fix the window. Here we go. Aryan is saying Trishadi. Well, she's joining in just 2 minutes. Trishadi, Sri Lanka and Pak type team इतना fight दे रहे हैं इंडिया को सेना teams तो कहाँ पी जाएगी. I know India will win from this position because of Pak's weak batting lineup. Answer Kaur. Do you mean Answer Kaur or do you mean Amanjot Kaur? Amanjot Kaur is not fit, which is why she didn't make it to the team. But Aryan, you're right. Because if we look at the batting lineup, and I was just trying to do something, I was trying to sort of wrap my mind around the fact that India's batting lineup or batting was so bad today. And Trisha's back, I believe. Trisha, I was, just answering
Hello,
Aryan's question here. Can you hear me?
can you hear me, Gargi? Right. Sorry, what
Can
was
you
the question?
can you
Trishadi,
hear
Sri
me?
Lanka, and
What a
say
beautiful
something.
conversation.
No, I can't hear you. Wait, I'll come back.
No, but yes, Aryan, coming back to you. I just pulled out the scorecard just to make sense of what was going on. I know that at the Premadasa, it's a very slow deck. I understand that, but at the same time, when we look at the approach with which the Indian batters went in today, it made absolutely no sense. And it looked like Indian batters were clueless throughout. Now, if you look at the uh, if you look at the scorecard here, can you finally hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, I can.
Oh, good. Now we can have a conversation, a real one.
Yes.
I was
But
just
there is
talking
so
about,
much to talk about. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I was just talking about the batting, and it looked clueless, it looked toothless. I understand that it was a slow deck, but that does not mean that you're not going to go in with a plan, right? It looked like they were absolutely clueless, and to understand what was going on, I just pulled up the scorecard, and I'm looking at the strike rate of the top five batters. It is 83, 71, 70, 55, 86, 75 against a Pakistan.
Absolutely. And you know what? Since you actually hit the nail on the head with the strike rate, India has played 163 dot balls out of 300 legitimate balls, and this is without those 10 wickets. I'm not counting those 10 wicket balls. So make that 173 almost out of 300. You have played almost close to 60% dot balls, and as you correctly pointed out, this is against Pakistan. And the teams you are going to play next is South Africa, England, Australia, and New Zealand. If you are going to play this many dot balls, you have not reached 250 against a lackluster Pakistan bowling. Yes, they bowled tight lines and length, But if you are telling me it is not a 250 ground, then that's a joke. Your batters have failed so badly. They have played such reckless shots. Think of this. That if Jemima had gotten out in that first instance, which was a no ball, we were done with.
Yeah,
Take another 30 odd runs down from this.
exactly. And again, I'm going back to the strike rate point, because that tells you what the approach was of the team, right? This is not test cricket, this is ODI. You have 50
Exactly.
overs to score a big total and completely dominate this game. And please understand here that you are not one of the strongest teams, as in, yes, sure, you're better than a Bangladesh, you're better than Sri Lanka and Pakistan, but when you're going to compete against a New Zealand and England and Australia, you will need that net run rate to be up. That's going to help you later in the
Absolutely.
tournament. This was your opportunity to get that run rate up, yet it was completely blown. And the highest strike rate besides Richa Ghosh is 83.7. I don't
See,
understand that.
that's the problem. And if you actually look at the wickets also, Gargi, it's not like they were fantastic deliveries, unplayable deliveries that you got out to. You actually were out to look at Harmanpreet Kaur's dismissal. How can an Indian captain batting at number 4 when the team has already lost the openers get out to that rubbish of a shot? I mean, that should have been four every single day. You should have closed your eyes and hit that for boundary. You hit it so slow. Harlindale, how many, when Harlindale was on the 40s, Snehashish and I were saying, I said 46 and Harlindale is out. And Snehashish kept saying, Didi, what are you saying? 46. I said, take out your camera. Harlindale is getting out. Next ball, she got out. And this is not the first time. It's not like I'm saying this because I'm predicting something. No, it's a pattern with Harlindale. She has
Hmm.
scored, I think, in the last 10 innings that she has batted, she has 840 scored, but none 50. So, what kind of a batter are you that at number 3 you don't have a single century other than one against West Indies? And your 50 came just that first ODI in Australia. Other than that, you don't have any 50. And you're coming at number 3, Gargi.
Exactly.
I would like to see another all rounder or a bowler in place there instead of someone like Hurley at number 3. And then look at her strike rate. The moment she comes, she slows herself down, Smriti down, or Pratika down, whoever is not out at the other end.
That's Shubhan Goel is saying there is no way we can have Harleen and Pratika back together. Zero intent on good wickets, they can be reason for India scoring below par scores.
But Smriti is also a reason for India to score below par scores. Five dot balls, then a boundary. So the entire point is that she gets saved because of the number of boundaries she hits. If you have five dot balls and you're hitting one boundary, you have four or six balls. So your strike rate is not that bad. In case of Pratika, she's not getting that boundary. Out of five balls, maybe she's getting two singles. But today there were so many runs that Smriti completely denied. And then she got into a tangle, she got out. But that is not how you can go in the next four matches. If this is how India plays in the next four matches, you're not even going to the knockout rounds. Forget about the being one of the favorites. This is not how favorites bat for sure.
No, absolutely not. And the point that you're bringing up, that after four dot balls there will come a boundary, which is why Smriti Mandana's strike rate does not look that bad. But what that does is it's not putting any pressure on the opposition, one. Two, no strike rotation, and it is not helping your total. It's just making your
Exactly.
batting look good. That's all. There's not
Absolutely.
nothing
It is just,
good happening for the team.
unfortunately, it is just stat padding, nothing else. I'm sorry, but it
Yeah.
is just stat padding. And think of this, Smriti Mandana 2,100 runs between last World Cup and this World Cup. Come World Cup,
Exactly.
she has not looked even the part. Forget about scoring runs. One part is, of course, scoring runs. The other part is looking the part. Today, when Smriti was batting, thrice or four times I asked Yashik, what am I missing in the pitch? That she's batting
Mm.
like she doesn't know how to bat and she's your best batter. She absolutely had no intent. She had no clue where the ball was going. She was not getting to the pitch of the ball, and she was looking absolutely nonsense out there. And if that is what your best batter looks like, I am scared. Where is the team heading to in this World Cup?
Exactly, exactly. And it's not like you are finding very powerful or someone.
I actually felt that should not have taken play and which are
Get her in
chatting
the
out.
get her in the frame.
Exactly.
Coming up from the
Exactly.
country which are bound to be there for now.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think, I was just talking to someone from the audience. Sorry, what's your name?
Madhurika.
Madhumita. And Madhumita is rightly asking the question that, why don't you come in?
Oops, this is the wrong one.
She's making a fantastic point on the Richa Sneh Rana part.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi. So I saw Richa padding up for the next round to come. And suddenly I could see Snake coming up padding down from the dugout and stating that
Exactly.
you don't go. And you have to give a batter
Richa,
like
yeah?
Richa at least 2 to 3 overs to settle. And we know she can hit big. She's like the Lady LSC that we have always seen.
Correct.
They didn't give enough time, and I could see Richa stretching out, running here and there, seeing that there's only 6 overs, 7 overs, 8 overs left in her hand. She did the best that she could do. Even I could say Kritika Gaur. She made well. I mean, she connected so well. The willow was making sounds, but I don't know what happened with others. Sneh Rana,
And Sneh Rana is supposed to play cameo. Sneh Rana is not supposed to give you a longish
Exactly.
inning. She's not there to score the 50s. You have batters for that. And if six batters for you, seven batters rather, if you count deeply, are not enough to give you runs, then maybe we are just not good enough and we should accept that.
and if you just don't mind me making
Yeah.
another point, so when Sana won the toss, she said that the pitch is moist, right? That's why she was taking most. Why don't you set your batters who's going to set and hit it big? Because anyway, we see that the dews are coming up. It was raining a bit as well. The pitch is actually going to be very slow. Outfield is already slow. Yes, the match got cancelled because of the rain. Anyway, the fields are going to face some problem while coming the ball. Always better. Why don't you let these people hit something? Even if it is late, they are going to hit it out over there. If it is real concern, it's going to play in their way. You need to put those run in your goal.
Absolutely. I mean, against Pakistan, if you don't reach 250, how are we calling ourselves favorites? To be very very honest, and in the media box out there, I don't think I've seen a more frustrating batting unit than this. It was so frustrating that at one point I was telling Priyanshi, let's just leave, not watch it. It has been around 10 years that they're in the spotlight. Itna backing, itna moral support, Ladki, men empowerment. You should reap rewards from it in terms of performance and ICC trophies. Absolutely. I mean, all that I'm saying is, look, whether you win the final or not is a long way off. And one knockout game is not something I'm going to judge you on. But I'm going to judge you against Pakistan. If against Pakistan you're not scoring 5 runs per over, it's not a Faraway pitch bhi nahi hai. Nobody can tell me.
Dynamic look like a Shoaib Akhtar also.
Yes. I know. Fatima Sana and Diana Baig, the way Smriti Mandana played them, I'm repeatedly saying, I'm not even going into the rest of the battles. Smriti Mandana was standing there and defending continuously. And
He froze on the wicket.
absolutely,
To the beach.
absolutely. And by the way, we came for this practice session. Throughout the practice session, Smriti only practiced stepping out to the pacers and hitting.
Where
There
would this
was
go?
that in the ground today. No
Exactly, my
idea.
point.
It's
What
a simple
happened?
pattern. Just Smriti for the first 5 balls, she'll hit a bad shot and get out.
The point here is, and I think this is a serious concern with the Indian women's team, is that when one thing goes wrong, or you think, okay, the conditions are not suiting us, they lose it here. As in, they sort of
They
admit
don't lose
defeat
it here. They
before
don't have it here. There's nothing to lose. They don't have it here. That's the problem. To be
I'm saying
honest.
that, as in not their sanity. What I mean is that
No, no, I
they
don't
lose
know.
the
You're
game
not
way
talking about
before they
sanity.
actually do it. Because uh, Smriti Mandana, what kind of an approach was that? She's one of the best batters in international cricket.
And
She's one
that's
of the
why Smriti
yeah.
Mandana is not a goat. So don't come and tell me Smriti Mandana is a goat. She's a good
She should have
batter. No
dominated
doubt
today.
about that. She's not a great batter. If you're a great batter, these are the matches you will perform. Somebody came and said, The pitch is difficult. So if you're a great batter, bat in a difficult pitch. Don't tell me that the pitch is difficult. That's why you're going to play that sort of a no. Who is accountable if India loses? Look, I'll tell you something. We are good. We have this good fortune that that's the Pakistan team who cannot bat. They have only horizontal bat shots and they're going to get out. Absolutely. There is a lot of newbies. There aren't enough batters. So I think Pakistan will be bundled within 150. But that does not mean we have played well. And this is a problem with women's cricket fans, I would say. The problem is, last game, people said it was a clinical performance. No, it wasn't. Against Sri Lanka, 69 में mamba mentality
That's what I was talking
चाहिए.
about.
Absolutely. At least यार
No, it's
competitive
true. Really
mentality
sorry.
चाहिए. I mean, चाहिए. That's the thing that they're saying. It is a difficult pitch. It should have been the same for Richa. She did not play a Bengal Raicho. So, and I'm afraid today Pakistan team doesn't have Nida. If Nida was there, it would have changed for them. Exactly. Exactly. Absolutely. And you never know. I'll take a lead. Yeah, sure. Thank you. Thank you. Um,
Go ahead.
the other part, Gargi, see, this
Yeah.
is where I'm saying if you do not watch a lot of women's cricket, there are chances when you actually see India defeating Sri Lanka by, say, 50 odd runs, you're thinking India has done a classical job. But that's not true. The Sri Lankan team, skill wise, is so low that 50 odd run win against them is almost like a bad game for you. And then you followed up with this. Snehashi so far has been handling my rant. Please ask him. Yes, hello.
Hello.
Yes, two games in a
Uh,
row.
Sh-
Two,
Snehashi,
two beautiful
Shivang,
batting performances by the team.
Why don't we open with Trisha and Gargi? We could do a far better job because none of us have votes, but we would still do better job.
okay, there's a super chat here. Australia beat Ronka. India should lose today and get out of World Cup. Only then we can bring some actual changes. Is this the preparation? Batting
If
like
I was
test
a
match.
fan, if I was a fan and not a journalist right now, I would have agreed with him or her. I would have just said that that is exactly how we deserve to be thrown out. Maybe when some hard calls will be taken. Because we really need some hard calls. This is not working.
Absolutely not. More questions here. Manoj Fulara is saying Indian women's team needs big criticism. Smriti and Harman should be thrown out. Thoughts,
Maybe
guys?
not so much. Hanuman, yes, sure. I think it's time to change the captaincy. Also, I think people have to stop. I mean, Smriti, I don't know. Today, Smriti's batting was so poor that I actually have no words to be very honest. Because if I do, I must say something that, all of us will regret. So, yeah.
Awesome is saying besides the home team, Sri Lanka, no other team has chased down 200 plus in Colombo in women's cricket in ODIs. It's always tough to chase in Colombo. Pakistan have a big blunder by fielding first. Arey, wo chodo. What about the batting? Indian batting has done a bigger
एग्जैक्टली
blunder.
कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता पाकिस्तान तो वैसे ही नहीं चेस कर पाएगा 150 के ऊपर कुछ भी पर इसका मतलब ये थोड़ी है कि आप बनाओगे ही नहीं रन अगर
You
ये
shouldn't.
ऑस्ट्रेलिया होता ना सर 320 प्लस बनते और फिर ऑस्ट्रेलिया एनआरआर अपना हाई करके निकल जाता
Exactly. I mean, this should have been the match where you dominated from ball one, but unfortunately, it wasn't. Arjun Singh is saying coaches are mentally weak and life underachievers. Oh my goodness. But I take your point about being mentally weak, and I've said this over and over again. They need a solid lesson in, dominating. That
Get Ruchi
dominating
Nalkadi,
mentality
get
should be
Ruchi
there.
Nalkadi, get a coach who understands the women's game, get a coach who knows how to get the best out of women cricketers. Amol Mazumdar is no doubt a fantastic batter. Amol Mazumdar has great mentality, everything said and done. But I'm sorry, that is all for men's cricket. And Gargi, you and I specifically know that we have seen women's cricket play in India.
Oh, it seems like the internet is troubling us. Let's see what happened here. No idea. Anyway, until they get back, I will continue. Women's team need Gambhir Sahab and Ajit Agarkar, not men's team. I somewhat agree. It doesn't have to be Gautam Gambhir itself. It can be anyone else. Like Trisha was also making the point. Get Nushina Al Khadi, someone who understands the women's game, someone who will come in and actually, like someone said, who was it? Mamba mentality. Someone was talking about here. They need to have that dominating, that winning mindset, which in the Indian team seriously lacks at the moment. The intent, the attitude with which you go and decides everything. And I'm sorry, but Indian batters lacked all intent today. Uh, Piyush Piyush नाम है आपका? Okay. Piyush Shah is saying Pratika Rawal and Smriti Mandana इतना slow क्यों खेल रहे थे, and team management क्यों ऋचा घोष को राणा की जगह में प्रमोट नहीं किया. See, this is the same question that we're asking as well. Sense ही नहीं बनता that after Pratika Rawal, Smriti Mandana, Harleen Deol, all of them played so incredibly slow. It was time for Richa Ghosh to come in and actually get the score up. Sneha Rana came in, played her cameo. Richa Ghosh tried as hard as she could. But the point is, if she had been given more time, I honestly think that Richa Ghosh could have gotten another 30-40 runs on the scoreboard and could have actually made a difference. This is sure India will win. Sure, India has gotten close to 250 runs on the scoreboard, but it's not enough. You haven't dominated at all. You've played with a strike rate, the highest strike rate, apart from Richa Ghosh, who has a strike rate of 175. The highest strike rate is 83. Pratika Rawal, who played a runner ball. So that's not how you play. Smriti Mandana as well, 71 strike rate. She was, as many of you pointed out, as Trisha pointed out, she was stat padding today. There would be 4-5 dot balls, then a boundary, another 4-5 dot balls, then a boundary. That is not how you approach this game. That is not how you approach an opponent like Pakistan, who you should have dominated. And I will say this over and over again. Foreign coach chahiye, saying Shirish. It could be anyone. It's not just about foreign coach. It's anyone who will bring the team back and sort of teach them how to attack, teach them how to have that dominating mindset. Ashish Punna is saying top and middle order lacked attacking mindset. Exactly what we've been saying. In a 50 over game, it's okay to settle in with the bat first, but the shot selection seemed very defensive. Look at how Smriti Mandana batted, and I'd like to especially point her out because she's been dominating the game for a very long time. She's one of the best in world cricket. You call her one of the best batters produced from the Indian team, but at the same time, if this is how she's going to approach her game against a team like Pakistan, then what does that say about your batting? Like you said, it's okay to settle down. It's okay to take 10-20 balls if you really want to play a very aggressive game, but change the gears, right? Where did Smriti Mandana change gears? Not once did she do that. Not once did it look like she wanted to go out and attack. Sometimes batters play a rash shot in order to attack and get out. That would have been fine, but that it never came. That aggression never came from Smriti Mandana at all. More super chats, I believe. Australia, the wrong guy is saying no. India needs Aussie coach, not India at least to begin. Okay, it could be any coach. Again, it could be any coach, but they need to know what they're doing. And this is a team that needs to not be timid or has to be taken out of that timid mentality, because you can't be on the defensive every single time. दीदी यू नो व्हाट, ऐसे वर्ल्ड कप नहीं जीत पाएंगे डॉट बॉल सडनली. आप वर्ल्ड कप जीतने की बात कर रहे हो आर्यन? आप नॉकआउट गेम्स कैसे जीतोगे? आप नॉकआउट गेम्स तक पहुंच भी पाओगे? When you're facing teams like England, when you're facing teams like New Zealand and Australia, what will happen to you? This is not how you approach it. We are struggling against Asian teams, then how will we face in our countries? Exactly my point. Cosmic Sneer. Dhanush is saying Shubman Gill and Smriti Mandana are the same, both stat pad heavily in bilateral series, get number one batter in ICC rankings but fail in ICC tournaments. And big pressure knockout matches. I'm just trying to figure out where Trisha and Snehashish went. 172 dot balls. yeah, we discussed this at the very start of the show, that out of 300 plus balls, if you're going to play 172 dot balls, what does that say about your mindset? Tough games ahead. Chinmay Kumar is saying conditions favoring batting, but intent not sure who is up for grabs. No idea. If Herman fails, we are done and dusted. She is the only one who performs against Australia. Because, see, Herman still has that very aggressive mindset. But when it comes to the rest of the batters, you don't see that at all. Richa Ghosh who had intent. Richa Ghosh showed us what was needed from the Indian team today. That is how the way Richa Ghosh approached this game is the way that every single batter should have approached it. I don't care if you're a top order batter. I don't care if you're an opening batter. This is a, a absolutely timid Pakistan lineup. You can dominate from the very get go. I don't understand how it wasn't done. Um, okay, I'm trying to get Trisha back on the show. Not sure what is happening. Going to ask her where did she go away. And it seems like their messages are not going through, so it seems like their internet must have gone off. Okay, let me continue for a little bit more and let's see if they come back. Otherwise, we will close the show. We are struggling. Oh, I just took this. Shubham Vashisht is saying Australia will easily win another World Cup. Easy. Maybe some fight from England. Yeah, you're right about that. Sheikh is saying they played well according to the conditions. I didn't find any issues. Sheikh, respectfully disagree because I think there was a lot to be desired. There was a lot more that the Indian batters could have done. It is, luckily enough, Pakistan is not a good batting side, which is why we are 100. It is almost 99% guaranteed, or let's say 90% guaranteed that they will not chase it down. But at the same time, you have a side with world class batters in your team, and you should have had gotten way more runs on the scoreboard. Look at the scorecard here. Look at the strike rate. I don't think this is the right kind of approach that India went with. More questions here. All right, sports fan is saying think talking point should be Smriti. What's use of scoring 1,000 runs in bilaterals when you can't turn up in World Cup? Exactly. And Trisha only a while ago spoke very extensively about Smriti Mandana and said that, and I'm quoting Trisha here, that if she's the goat of your team, then maybe she doesn't deserve that tag because a goat would take this opportunity to dominate against a Pakistan team like this, against a bowling lineup that is Pakistan, because it does not make sense that Smriti Mandana was batting with a strike rate of 71. It just does not sit right with me that Smriti did not take this opportunity to. Aditya Thakur, you can watch some other channel. That's fine. That Smriti Mandana did not take this opportunity to dominate, get 100, get a century, whatever. This was her chance, and it did not happen. More. Yograj Singh should be the coach. Who knows? Who knows? These are all spam comments. Should we have a women's coach? Perhaps they understand women's cricket better than coach. Maybe it doesn't have to be about gender. It has to be about who knows the game well, who knows the team well, uh, and someone who is mentally incredibly strong. SG is asking where is Trisha. Trisha was here a while ago, both Trisha and Snehashish, but it seems like there was a problem with their internet. I am trying to message them, but the messages are not going through, which means definitely they're having an issue with the internet. But we will close the show in the next minute because am I going to Australia? No, it's Shubhayan and Rohit who are going at this point. Daniel Matthews saying, look, Australia would have been all out on this pitch by the 40th over, but they would have scored at least 100. That's what we're talking about now, Daniel, right? That's what I said as well, that if you're going out with a certain approach, if you decide in your mind that I'm going to dominate this game by being aggressive, does not matter if we're all out by the 40th over. It does not matter as long as there's 250 plus runs on the scoreboard, 270 plus runs on the scoreboard. But that did not happen, knowing that you are a far better side than Pakistan. Sorry, but this Indian team is overrated. Agreed. At least today's performance made it look like that. But uh, at this point, it doesn't seem like Trisha and Snehashish will be able to join us back on this show. But of course, we will be back at the end of the game. So don't forget to join us then. Let's see how long it takes for the Indian team to bundle out a very, very timid Pakistan batting lineup. So, okay, Pratika has to be proactive. She has been predictable. Agreed. All right. On that note, I'll take your leave. We'll be back at the end of the game. So don't forget to join us then. Till then, keep your eyes peeled on Twitter. You'll get updates from the ground. And of course, Snehashish and Trisha will join us at the end of the game from Colombo, from outside of the Premadasa.